All right, everyone, buckle up. We're going deep on telecom today. We're talking the whole shebang, how we went from literally shouting across canyons to a world where, like, everything is connected.
It really is amazing.
Yeah, and you brought a podcast transcript all about the future of telecom, and I gotta say, it's fascinating stuff. So, are you ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So first things first, let's rewind a bit. I was reading about how, like, way back when, before phones, people used smoke signals and drums just to talk to each other.
Right.
Can you even imagine? Talk about patience.
Incredible, isn't it?
Seriously. Makes you appreciate instant messaging even more.
Oh, absolutely. Then came along the telegraph in 1830, and that was a total game changer. Suddenly, you could send messages across entire continents in minutes instead of weeks.
Oh.
Yeah, and then just a few decades after that, Alexander Graham Bell comes in and invents the telephone, and suddenly we can have actual conversations over long distances. Do you remember those old rotary phones?
Oh, yeah, totally. My grandparents had one, and I was so fascinated by, like, how you had to actually dial each number.
Right.
Now we can have video calls with anyone in the world in like a second.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
It really is. Talk about progress, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
But even with the telephone, you were still tied to a physical line.
Of course.
That's where the whole mobile revolution comes in, right?
Exactly. Mobile phones in the 1980s changed everything. It's fascinating, though, because it wasn't even the U.S. that led the charge. Japan actually launched the very first commercial cellular network way back in 1981.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, the Nordic countries got together and they developed their own system. This whole global push just shows them how much everyone wanted to be connected.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it wasn't just about convenience, right? Mobile phones, like, totally changed how we interact with the world.
Oh, absolutely. It broke down all kinds of barriers and let us work, socialize, access information in entirely new ways. That whole mobility thing was a huge step towards the hyperconnected world we live in today.
For sure. And that idea of constant connection just exploded with the smartphone.
Right.
It's crazy to think that there was a time when a phone was literally just a phone.
Yeah, I know.
Now it's like our lifeline to everything.
Absolutely. Smartphones basically merged communication and computing power.
Right.
And it's not just making calls anymore. It's about accessing information, controlling our homes, managing our finances, even monitoring our health. And all of this is powered by these increasingly complex networks. Like, the rollout of 5G has been incredible.
Yeah, I hear 5G everywhere, but what's the big deal? What makes it so different?
Well, it's not just about faster speeds. It's a totally new infrastructure. We're talking download speeds up to like 100 times faster than 4G. And that makes things like real-time remote surgery possible.
Really?
Yeah, because there's basically no lag. It opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Real-time remote surgery. That's,
It's pretty amazing.
it's mind-blowing. And it's not just phones that benefit from all this, right? We're headed towards a world where everything's connected.
That's right. It's the era of the Internet of Things, the IoT.
The IoT, right.
Imagine a world where your car not only warns you about hazards, but actually talks to other cars to avoid accidents. They're already testing this stuff.
So you're saying traffic jams could be a thing of the past?
It's possible.
That's incredible. What about our homes? What's the IoT doing there?
Well, smart home tech is evolving super fast. We can already control our lights, appliances, even security systems remotely. But imagine a home that learns your habits and anticipates your needs.
Okay.
It could adjust the temperature before you even get home, start your coffee in the morning, remind you to take your meds.
That sounds amazing, but also kind of, I don't know, maybe a little creepy.
Yeah.
Like, what about privacy and security?
That's a great point, and it's a huge concern. As our world gets more connected, cybersecurity becomes more important than ever. And it's a top priority for all the telecom companies as they work to, combat threats and build secure networks.
So what are they doing to keep our data safe?
Well, they're investing a ton of money in technologies like artificial intelligence or AI to detect and respond to threats immediately.
Okay.
They're also educating users about how to stay safe online.
AI seems to be everywhere these days, even in telecom.
Oh, absolutely. And one really cool example is AI-powered radio access networks, or AI RAN.
I got to be honest, I have no idea what that is. Break it down for me.
Okay, so basically, traditionally, network functions were managed by physical hardware, right? Which can be clunky and hard to scale. AI RAN takes those functions and makes them virtual, so it moves them to software.
Okay.
And this lets the network dynamically allocate bandwidth based on what's happening in real time. So let's say you're in a work meeting. Your home network can automatically prioritize your video calls so you don't get any lag.
So AI is basically making the network smarter and more responsive?
Exactly. It's like having a personal assistant for your internet connection.
I like that analogy.
And this is really just the beginning.
Wow.
We're on the verge of some seriously big breakthroughs.
Okay, so what does the future hold for telecom then? What's your prediction?
Well, imagine a world with seamless connectivity everywhere. 5G will keep expanding, and then 6G will come along, and it's going to be even faster and more powerful.
Okay.
We're talking holographic communication, immersive virtual experiences, instant access to information from literally anywhere in the world.
It sounds like something out of a movie.
I know, it's pretty wild.
It is exciting to think about how all these advancements are going to change how we live and work and connect with each other. It's been an incredible journey from those early smoke signals to a future that seems almost limitless.
It really has. And as we move forward, I think the biggest question we need to ask ourselves is, how are we going to use this incredible power of communication to make the world a better place?
That's a great question to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of telecommunications. It's a fascinating field, and there's so much potential for the future. Keep exploring, everyone.
Absolutely.